I'm going to present our next presenter. So our next presenter is Naida, and she is the Community Engagement Coordinator at the Center for Bioethics, Urban Health, and Policy at Temple University's. Yeah, it's a really amazing title, and what an incredible combination. So I'm just going to read that one more time. This is an amazing integrated thing here. Center for Bioethics, Urban Health, and Policy. That's awesome. So amazing. At Temple University's Lewis Katz School of Medicine, Naida's current advocacy efforts focus on addressing social detriments of health, food access, and creating environmental education opportunities in communities of need. As a former neighborhood advisory committee coordinator at the Asociación Puertorriqueños en Marcha, this is amazing, but I have to admit I got this today, so I'm struggling with some of the amazing titles here. She's served as a liaison between community residents and city agencies to increase meaningful connections among community stakeholders. Naida has led outreach initiatives involving housing, gentrification, zoning, greening, cleaning, housing development, and neighborhood stability. She holds a master's degree in international development from Eastern University and has experience working both locally and internationally. She has dedicated time serving communities in North Philadelphia, Ecuadorian Guinea, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and El Salvador, and continues to work to forge strategic partnerships that drive community engagement. Naida is a native to Philadelphia, and she is very proud to call Philadelphia her home. Please join me in welcoming Naida.
Hello, everyone. I promise I did not give myself those titles, and I did not name the center. But I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to celebrate this occasion with so many of you here. We've already spoken a little bit about sustainability and what it means. It's defined distinctively by many individuals, and we can simply understand it by saying that we're trying to sustain change or growth or advancements or development. But it's so much more than that. And it encompasses the micro and the macro processes from the ground up. And it's really important that when we talk about sustainability, we understand that we're all partners in this room and that we can't accomplish sustainability if we don't consider those that are working grassroots. And we begin to understand that the health issues and the zoning issues and the housing issues and the environmental issues and sustainability issues are all interconnected. And when you think about the communities that are suffering from environmental injustices or places that have access or don't have access to certain things, those that are the most underserved or those that find themselves in the most unhealthy situations, let's call that, they're all in the same areas. If you look at the zip codes and the numbers, and you look at places that are experiencing environmental injustices and food insecurity and so many other issues related to housing, they're all in the same areas. So it's really important that we understand that and that we are all moving parts together. Before working at the Asociación de Puertorriqueños en Marcha, short for APM, you can just call it APM, I didn't really know much about sustainability at the local level. And I didn't understand, I could get polar bears are dying somewhere and the glaciers are melting somewhere. But it was the Richards of the world from Philly Cusp and the PHSs of the world, the Mindys and the Dotties from the water department, the people from the health departments that helped me understand how it all connected and helped me understand that in my community where I grew up, where I was raised, the community that I saw with one lens, there was a reason why that community looked the way that it looked. And there was a reason why people suffered from the disparities that they suffered from. And there was a reason why people have access to certain things and others don't. but we have the advocates, and those that understand privilege, and those that understand the need to hold hands, the need to trust, and to understand that communities have been sustaining themselves all along. It may not look the way you think it needs to look. With the minimal resources that many communities often have, they've sustained themselves. And working through some of the projects and learning about vacancies and lots and educational environmental programs, we realize that even people in certain communities have been maintaining city lots for years and have no financial resources to actually acquire them. And we wonder why certain communities are the way they are. But they've been sustaining themselves all along. So when we talk about mentorship, I had colleagues that became advocates, and I had community residents that became my liaisons to communities, and we had partners that were able to access communities because we walked hand in hand. And I had supervisors and bosses that were willing to trust that whatever we were doing was somehow gonna be good for the community. And other people that trusted that us and our colleagues as a team would be able to support the communities that needed it the most. So we build relationships, we build trust, we hold hands with the partners from the residents, because they're our partners, to the leaders all the way up top. And all that to say, all communities have so much to offer. And the so-called vulnerable communities are often not as vulnerable as you think, because they are resilient and because they've been striving to maintain what they have. And lastly, I'll mention, I just came from a short trip from Puerto Rico, which was very bittersweet. And when we think about sustainability and the interconnectedness of so many things, almost a year out, and those residents that lived off of the trees that were in their backyards, or the mangoes, or the avocados, or whatever it is that they were growing, those were wiped away, and it takes so much time. And the small businesses were wiped away, and people had to leave their homes. And you understand that sustainability has to do with the businesses, and the trees, and the streetscape, and the housing, and it's all interconnected. So I am so glad that this room is not just filled with environmentalists, or not just filled with people that find themselves confined by one field. Together, we can create a sustainable Philadelphia.